My income is dependent on my business selling online courses. So of course I'm being worried about AI and I've been a lot thinking about AI, researching it, thinking how it will change the online course business. Will I be put out of the business in a year? What I do if I lose my income source? But actually, I'm not worried about that. Hello. My name is Joel Hakala, I'm a Finnish online entrepreneur, and I started as massage therapist, started to create and sell online courses, and today our Movement World business is selling 3 million euros worth of online courses every year. The reason why I'm not worried about AI has to do with specific knowledge that doesn't exist anywhere. You have your experience in this very moment here right now, and that's where all the learning happens. So even if you are watching this video right now, you are watching in this moment, you're having that experience. If you want to find creativity, being able to create something that doesn't exist in the internet, that the AI doesn't have access to, you have to experience things in this very moment. You have to explore the world. You have to talk with people. You have to do things, observe things, notice patterns that maybe no one else has yet observed or no one else has put that knowledge to internet. Let me draw you. This is internet. Everything that exists in the internet. But here's the reality, the whole universe, everything that exists and how it works. Not everything is on internet. There's a lot of stuff on internet. Practical example, I have this weird hobby of orienteering. Actually, maybe we can put a little clip of that, but it's basically running in a forest with a compass and map, trying to find this control point. It's a competitive sport where you see who's fastest through the course. It's a weird little niche hobby that is mostly exercised in handful of countries in the world. And there's a lot of knowledge about that hobby and everything that goes into that is not online. It exists only in the heads and the minds and the nervous systems of people who have been doing this hobby. So it's a good example of something where no matter how much the AI develops, that doesn't exist yet. I can ask things about orienteering from AI and it cannot answer. Its answers are bullshit, really generic shit. So that's an example of a thing where I have specific knowledge that is still valuable even after AI. So whatever is your thing, let's say if you're a weight loss coach, there's so much stuff about weight loss online, but there's so much there that is not. How does weight loss work for different people in different life phases, in different cultural environments that doesn't exist on internet? And then even if it exists on internet, we have what AI has access, what AI has been able to learn and put together. Because AI doesn't necessarily have access to quite everything that is on internet. It's anyway condensing some of that information, and there's some specific stuff that you might find somewhere from internet, but the AI might not be able to talk about it. Then we have slop. To get access to everything that AI knows, you need to have the right question. You need to be able to give it the right prompt. So most of the people don't know how to ask good questions. They don't know how to prompt. So they go to an AI chatbot and they ask how to lose weight. Or they give hey, I'm 32-year-old man, I weigh this much, how can I lose 10 kilos? So they're really generic things and they give you really generic answers. But if you're good in prompting, you can dig a lot of more specific knowledge, specific things out of there. This is where there will be no value because anyone can easily with one question get access to this information immediately and get it easily specified or customized to their specific need and situation by telling a little bit information about who they are and their situation. But where there might be some value is if you use, example, AI to research things, and let's say AI chatbots and LLMs get even better and better, there can be some value in you finding that knowledge and putting it together, example, in a good YouTube video or good online course. And yet alone, if you go and you find something from internet that AI doesn't really have access to or hasn't been able to synthesize. And oh my God, if you go in the real life world, you engage with real life people, you experiment with things, you learn things, you observe patterns. Let's say if you go hike for 1 year, you go around the world, you have a lot of experience to put together because you're a unique person with unique background, you are observing things differently than other people, you can put things together in a way that no one else has put. And then we have this concept. So most of the information online is really chaotic. I can watch hours and hours of content about weight loss. That doesn't necessarily create a change in my life. I know more about weight loss, but it doesn't necessarily change how I behave, how I eat. So I might still have the problem of like, hey, I want to lose weight. But if you put together the information in the right way, you really polish it in this nice round shape. Now it's valuable. It's much more entertaining, much more easier to understand. This actually creates the change in person's life. It's one thing to learn about something. It's another thing, some change to happen in people's perceptions, thinking, beliefs, and behavior that leads to them change how they eat. And that's actually what creates the change. What a good online course is about, it's about information put together in a way that when someone comes into contact with it, that it creates a behavior change that leads into more positive end results of more positive transformation in their life. There's a lot of noise in the world, and I think the value in online courses will be more about not just putting the information out there, but how it's put together that it actually changed the X factor. Example, if I want a good, delicious cake, all those raw ingredients exist in the world. I can just walk to the local Superdino grocery store, I can get all the ingredients I need for the cake. But it doesn't mean that I know how to bake a good cake. The ingredients, the information being out there in chaotic form doesn't mean that it's the delicious cake that is worth paying for and which is much more valuable than this information here. Practical example. If your value proposition for a person is like, I teach you everything about weight loss, everything you need to know about weight loss. Okay, I'll pay 27 euros for that. But if you say like, hey, we have a proven an online program where when these people who match this criteria come in the next 3 months, they have lost minimum 5 kilos or 10 pounds of weight by just changing their diet, no need to exercise. And you have a track record for that. How valuable is that? 270 euros, even more. Quite easy to understand, like there's huge difference between these things. So to summarize, 3 things why I'm not worried that AI will replace online courses fully is number 1 thing is new info understanding. If you can gather this outside of what AI has access to, your information has value. Second thing is synthesizing. How that information is synthesized to put into clearly understandable manner, put into short, impactful video where someone doesn't have to watch a 1-hour video, they can watch a 10-minute video and get that aha moment from that. Third thing is the packaging or delivery, which might mean that your online course still might be really enjoyable experience. It might include live Q&A calls with you. It might include community. It might be put together in visually appealing way. It might include some coaching or whatnot. So people might have a situation where like, hey, I can get access to this information with AI, but I don't have community. I don't have any coach. I don't have anyone to ask more specific questions. I don't have that human experience. That's also where you can innovate. And if you put these 3 things together, you have some new information and understanding that doesn't exist in the internet. You synthesize it in really well that saves people's time, is really easy for them to understand. And then you make it so that it's really enjoyable process, a really enjoyable thing versus just getting, chatting with the chatbot, because we are social animals. We want to connect with people. We want to also, a lot of times when you talk with other people who also have problems and we can create real connections, there's a lot of value in that. So yes, AI will have a big impact on online courses and how online courses are sold and what kind of online courses are sold, but it's not gonna make human-made online content totally obsolete. I guess the question at this point is like, if you're creating content online and especially trying to sell it, what's your unique thing that AI cannot replicate?